It's still going.
Oh my God, Mr. Pete.
Yeah.
I literally, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass or anything like that, but that very first bit where you're going clean, I started to well up.
Oh, really?
It's like, that was properly some of the nicest chords and...
But it's not, it's just chords.
It's
just chords, man.
I've turned everything off, so just, this is...
They play the same stuff.
Yeah, I'm not crying anymore. I'm crying for a different reason.
Yeah. It's nice chords still.
Wow.
It's still nice chords.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it's not. That's a nice chord. Yeah, and then I lost it a bit there in the. I lost myself into it as well.
Man,
and then you get lost.
The rig here is obviously, we're talking about the new Strymon Big Sky MX today. Strymon, I guess, you know, some would say undisputed kings of reverb for the last 10 years or whatever like that. But the Big Sky was their premium reverb pedal. And we now have Big Sky MX, which is a substantially updated version.
Oh, look in here. It
that.
says like and subscribe in right here. Look, check this out. Look. There you go. See?
What you're basically hearing is, so Pete's playing this brilliant James Valentine signature Music Man guitar, which has got a humbucker at the neck and some sort of...
The Sterling one, yeah. It's a Sterling.
Is that Sterling?
Yeah.
Shut the front door.
No, that's the crazy bit about this. This is a Sterling.
I thought that was the full...
No.
Fine, okay. Even more blown away. So what is this bridge pickup? Is it a single coil or a P90?
I'm not quite sure what it is actually. I know it's got a 20 dB boost in it, but I think it's a P90 and a humbucker.
So anyway, so you're hearing that.
Yeah.
We've got a drive pedal from J-Rocket called the Dude, which obviously you can hear when we switch that in. It's not... Actually, it's quite high gain, but it's with tons of clarity. It's not like a metal pedal or anything.
Not at all. Not at all.
Mono signal into the Big Sky, splitting it then into stereo into two amplifiers, which are both clean sounding amplifiers.
No
so
reverb.
You kind of heard, yeah, with no. So we're going into the front end, and that's what you're hearing. That first patch of Saturn's ring, I must admit.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, absolutely. So the second batch is Uranus's ring. That's a different kind of effect.
As I miss.
No, anyway, so this is the new Big Sky MX. I'll get the price out the way, because to be honest, if you hear the price and you want to go and watch a different video, that's fine. So yeah, this is a premium reverb pedal. This is going to come out in the UK at sort of just under £700. I think the dollar price is similar. It's just under $700 type thing in the States. No, but then half of me just thought, for someone like me, and I know there'll be loads of other players out there, reverb's probably your most important immersive pedal. It's the most expensive pedal on my board is the reverb pedal. Yeah. And I sort of think, if you've gone to the luxury of buying thousands of pounds worth of amps and thousands of pounds worth of guitars, and reverb is your thing, then you want the best one, right?
I agree, yeah.
So I'll get that out of the way first and foremost. 12 world-class reverbs now, 2 reverbs at once, which the old pedal couldn't do. It now has one of the reverb engines is an impulse response playback. So again, you've got up to 10 seconds worth of impulse response reverbs that you can load in, convolution reverbs. Stereo ins and outs, I think that was the same on the old one. Quite a bit more functionality around how you can use the infinite freeze foot switch. There's a great table on here actually, because if you're a Big Sky owner and you're thinking, oh, is it worth upgrading? This table,
says, is the answer. I mean, even the process in here is 3 times as powerful. Yeah, and it's got 32-bit float.
Yeah, well, so we'll put this on screen now, but this is the Big Sky versus Big Sky MX. So Big Sky MX has the tri-core 800 ARM processor, whereas the old one had the single 366 megahertz Shark processor.
I had one of those on my old PC once.
Same number of reverbs, but the old one could do 1 reverb at a time. This can now do 2. Obviously, the new one has impulse responses, which for impulse response reverbs, not speaker emulations. Wow, loads of other. You've got the reverbs here from the Cloudburst, with all of the ensemble.
How much is
stuff on it? It's 250, 300,
so,
something like that. Again, you've got a Magneto engine, which again we'll go into in a minute.
See the guy from X-Men?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's the X in MX.
The 2 reverb options give you some really interesting. So this particular reverb, we've got this upgraded display as well. So where it's just got a 1 here, we're just using 1 reverb. You'll see if you see the number 2 appear there, you'll see you've got a second reverb, and then your routing options are either to have those running in parallel, so you've essentially got the same sound coming out of each speaker, but it's a blend of those 2 reverbs. Series, where you're running 1 reverb into the other. And again, that's quite cool. We've often done that by having reverb in an amp and a reverb pedal into it to simulate that sort of reverb on reverb. Again, with the routing options of 1 into 2 or 2 into 1. Or you've got split mode. So you can physically, if you're running a stereo rig, say I want a certain reverb on the left and then a different, completely discrete reverb on the side. And if you're running stereo in, of course, then it's 2 completely discrete.
I guess you could even have a pedal that has got 2, you can have 1 overdrive into that, and 1 overdrive into that, and 1 overdrive into 1 reverb into 1 amp, and woof!
And I imagine if you're using like a gig rig G3 or something
you
like
can
that, all sorts of
swibbity
cool
swabbity. I like the layout here. That's all new from that, isn't it? It's much easier to kind of. You don't have to.
The screen is easier to see what's going on.
A little bit old-fashioned, I would say, in 2024.
Yeah, what do you call that? It's still some sort of LCD type screen, isn't it? But not touch screen or anything groovy like that.
I'm just saying it could be like the high-resolution OLED or whatever they're called. I don't know. I'm not into all that stuff. It's more about sounds for me. But
there are 100 presets in here, and we haven't found a bad one yet, but I'm not entirely sure we want to go through all 100 reverbs at once.
So behind the presets, is there any of your own? So like user where you can make your own?
Yeah, there's hundreds of I think there are 300 memory locations. It's just the first 100 of presets, and after that they're blank for you.
300?
Yeah, it's full MIDI, so
I need
of course,
300 reverbs.
And I think a lot of Big Sky users, one of the reasons to go for Big Sky over Blue Sky is if you want to have, multiple MIDI recallable reverbs to your, at your fingertips.
USB-C there. Yeah, there is the Nixie, which is not compatible with this at the moment. I have tried to hook it up, but it doesn't work yet. But further down the line,
should say that
we have got this.
So we're shooting this video about 2 weeks before launch. Yeah. When Nixie is the library and editing software for this, it will 100% work at launch. Yeah. But they're talking about adding more functionality to that over time. Yeah. So, look, enough talk. We might as well just hear those first 10 presets. We've changed in the global settings to have trails on. As default out the box, this had trails off. So again, that's up to you, but you're going to hear as we switch, the trails are on. So should we just move to...
Did we change the infinite to be latching as well?
That's per patch.
Is that per patch? Okay,
than,
right. We can get into that in a minute.
global.
But so what are we doing? So reverse spring.
We'll just do the first 10 patches and see what they sound like.
Ooh.
Bank up and bank down are what your dual button things. The display changes, shows you what your A and B settings are going to be. That's actually one of the things that's different. So the old Big Sky, I think, had the bank up and down thing was the same, but then you had A, B, and C.
Yes.
On the new Big Sky MX, you've got A and B, and then you've permanently featured infinite button, which obviously enables that kind of infinite reverb vibe.
But can you attach those? They've got the 3 switches thing.
What's it called? Favorite switch? Or multi-switch?
I'm sure you can do that. Yeah. So that's a short room.
Very short room reverb. Yeah.
Sounds great though.
Showtime!
Showtime, baby! Showtime!
I quite like this. So there are various options of how you might want the display to be. This is the default one. So we see the patch number, the patch name, how many reverbs we've got on this, which reverb engine it's using. So you can see Hall here, and what the decay time is set to. So this is a kind of a 3 second, or just over 3 second reverb. To put things in perspective, that first one was a 19-second reverb.
19 seconds?
Yeah.
Blake Lively. Sounds good though. When it's
plate reverb. This will be a good one. Tippy toes. I want to. Drippy Spring.
Drippy Spring. That sounds like a place you go on a camp holiday. When you're American teenage kid or something.
Yellowstone Park.
Yeah, Stone. I'm impressed with this guitar, man. I'm very impressed with this
Here's an
guitar,
impulse response.
Oh, 250 long.
I predict this is just now, the next 3 years, every single reverb pedal that exists will now go over to having a mode of that Polyverbs thing that if you didn't see the video from the end of last year, where it was the first time I'd ever used a reverb pedal that had convolution reverbs in it. I think it was the first time anyway.
I mean, that pedal is still magical, isn't it?
Yeah, just the depth of a real reverb is something amazing. Anyway, here we go. Silver screen. Oh, this has got a big ensemble. There it is.
There's a Biryani Grande.
Biryani Grande.
Yeah,
it's my favourite. Right.
Indian version.
Shimmers. I can't decide, but this either says ain't knob organ or it says ain't no borgan. So I don't know if this is some sort of Billy Corgan reference or or a knob organ joke. I'm
Knob
not sure.
and organ are two of the same. It's like a double. It's like called Anthony Hancock.
Could be.
Yeah. Tony Hancock. That's it. It's not Billy Corgan, though, is it?
I don't know enough.
That's an organ.
I think it probably will be a Smashing Pumpkins reference.
Really? I don't know well enough to
into the music enough to know. I think Billy Corgan is Borgen, surely.
But Borgen is also those in the Trolls, in the film Trolls.
They were Bergens.
Borgens,
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's close. Damn it.
They were Bergens.
Superior troll knowledge over here.
Yeah.
It's because my kids are younger. Right.
Yeah.
Bloom, Little Burst.
Little Burst. That sounds familiar. That's like a haunting sound, isn't it? That haunting. You know,
It's quite hard to know.
Sorry.
It's quite hard to know how to approach the demo because there's part of me just wants to keep going through all the presets because they are magical. And then I'm sure some of you are going, can we just see some functionality and stuff?
Yeah.
So, look, I think I'll go through a few more presets, but just finding some of the ones that we've maybe not done yet, and then we'll go all the way to a blank one and maybe have a look at some of how it edits and stuff. So the first one, this Magneto, which if I remember right, that's one of the new engines. Here we go. More than just a reverb, Magneto is capable of old school magnetic drum delay, slapback, patterned repeats, and even chorus effects. So that's one of your new engines.
That would be like an old Boss Space Echo type thing.
Or the Binson thing.
Binson. A bit of delay on it as well. It sounds great,
It's wonderful.
Man. Doesn't sound great.
Well, actually, this stutter was an interesting one as well. How do they describe non-linear?
Stutter.
Yeah, so...
But it's butter. That's stutter.
Stutter buttered.
I can't believe it's not stutter butter.
Various physics-defying reverb shapes are available for special effects and unique textures. Choose from 3 backward shapes. Add chop for tremolo, employ a gate for abrupt, cut off, and more. So that's what this.
But this definitely got some.
Is.
Stutter butter.
Love it. Okay, so this, I don't know if this is a particularly good one to demonstrate it on, but this is how you see the screen has changed now to show us that we've got 2 reverbs here. If I remember rightly, it's this button here. So the first one is Bloom, the second one is Spring, and then you can see the middle thing is saying we're running those in parallel. And so it's ever so simple to change these if I want to, but here we go. So this is the same reverb coming out of both sides, but it's like a layered parallel reverb now. Listen to those harmonics. realise that the worship guitar scene has already now sold out of the Big Sky MX for the next 3 years.
They must be on a lot of boards.
What is this? Chopped
They have some
spring?
amazing boards though.
Okay, so what you can see here, see the way the display's changed now. This is saying that whatever number 2 is, so number 2 is a spring reverb, that's coming first. And then in series, that is going into number 1, which is the non-linear. So I imagine this will be a slightly more unusual. I wonder if that's a good one to show off the infinite effect.
Just try it. This is a nightmare video for Mick Taylor when he's going to do that. So Dan, don't say anything.
Yeah.
So that's not set to infinite now. That's set to the other one, isn't it? Because there's 2 versions.
Yeah.
Of that.
Well, there's you can elect for this switch to be latching or momentary.
Show it.
Obviously, okay. I'll probably find a slightly simpler patch to show the editing. But essentially, we hit this button once to go into parameters. We would scroll down here until we see the infinite mode. Hit it again. So infinite mode is freeze, infinite or off. So freeze was what we just had. Yeah. So it freezes the reverb, and then anything Pete plays over the top is dry and doesn't add any effect to that.
Yeah.
Infinite is it freezes what you've played plus continues to freeze everything that you then play
with reverb on top
of that
Exactly.
infinitely.
Yeah.
Or you can switch that mode off if you want to.
And then you had the latching
then
thing.
underneath that is you elect as to whether or not that is this control will be momentary or
it's clever.
latching.
It seems much easier than the old one did. I mean, it's such a long time since I had one.
Maybe I will maybe the next one is we'll find one to, let's just find one.
What does that say? Spectre Fleck.
Yeah, what does that sound like? So
Spectre Fleck.
Yeah. Fine, so really straightforward. I might as well choose this one to show you how to edit. So I really like the fact that they've put all of the controls along one line here. I don't know why, it just feels more intuitive to me. So as you can imagine, decay, pre-delay, tone, modulation are all pretty obvious what they do. Modulation is an interesting one. If they're, in addition to actually adding modulation to the effect, if it exists within that reverb engine, it also plays what they talk about, this idea of playing with sort of natural air movement within a space. So turning the modulation up doesn't just add modulation, it just adds a sense of more realistic
presence,
more in the actual space.
It's a feel.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a feel, but that you're in the room with the reverb.
And that was the other thing I thought was amazing. Even the impulse responses are editable. So you put an impulse response in, but then you've still got parameters. You can sort of digitally mess with that. So parameter 1 and parameter 2 will vary for each type of engine. So if I go into the parameters now, you'll see low end and mid are the first 2 parameters here. So that's what those 2 parameters will do.
Right.
And then if on a different engine, those first 2 parameters might be something different. So mix on the end obviously is mix, but if you do press this value button and you go into the parameters, you're going to actually see additional parameters that you can then edit. And again, I did actually what Pete was saying was this single button here has 3, what do you call it? Like 3 ways of working. So from the main preset menu, if I just click it, I go into the parameter. I click it again, I go even deeper in. If I hold it a little bit, I come out. Yeah. So you can see that. And I guess you've got to get sight used to this. And if I hold it for an extended period, it's 3 seconds, it goes into its global settings. So it's kind of like when I like the first 2 or 3 times I tried that, I was going, oh, I'm holding it too long or not long enough, whatever. But very, very quickly, your brain just goes, yeah, hold that. And it's almost like double clicking a mouse. You just get into the
another Mac mouse, right? An old-fashioned one with USB-A on it. But go back into here, and then back into the next setting, just into the low end, and just show that, because I thought that was a cool little idea. I didn't see that. Right.
So all of the parameters
has the little thing down there. That's cool, man.
Yeah. So the cursor at the top is showing you where you're adjusting it, but this really, really handy little cursor at the bottom shows you where it was before you started.
Which is so handy because you know that you're fiddling around. You go, where was it before?
Yeah. No, I can't remember where I left it. I totally agree.
It's a super cool little feature.
Let's see what else is in here. I'm trying to find. I love a plate reverb, so let's see what that's.
Rock and plate. That's definitely like
and just in case, and I didn't show you what as soon as you move one of these, you just instantly
it goes straight
into that display.
And it still leaves where the...
you still see where it was. So it's very, very intuitive to edit and use.
At least clickable.
Oh, I liked this. I don't know why. I don't remember...
There's some modulation on that one.
I tell you what, I did think was odd.
Sounds great, man.
Or slightly odd. The switching as to whether or not trails were on or off is a global setting. So you can't have some reverbs where the trails are off and some reverbs where the trails are on. You've just got to elect.
Is it?
Well, do you know what I say that? That's how pretty much every pedal works, doesn't it? It's normally got a switch on the side that's trails on or off. So I suppose you're kind of right. But in my head, I was sort of going, there might be some guitarists going.
But then you can just set your reverb length shorter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You don't have to set it for 20 seconds, do you?
Oh, here you go. Look. This one is called the 960 Taj, and then they've named the patch Mahal. And it's an impulse response. Mahal. So whether it really is an impulse response from the Taj Mahal, who knows? But that's where
snuck in.
That's where we saw last play, wasn't it?
Great gig. Great gig.
That's going to be the new really annoying tourist thing to do, isn't it? So it's really annoying. Everybody's there with all their iPhones taking it. Everyone's going to be with their little Zoom H4 in these really and then
quiet, everybody, shut up!
I've just captured it of the Buckingham Palace Queen's bedroom.
I did one the other day at Shadwell Farm down in it's called Chapman Farm. No, it was great, and they had some old. They got some old. Show a picture. What is it called? An old silos. And I went in there and I put my phone on it, I clapped it. Incredible sound in there.
Yeah.
So, and I want to put that into the Logic. What is it called? The one in Logic, and make our own ones and see if we can put it in there.
Yeah. I mean,
Shadwell.
I think that's going to be a whole new industry.
Space sound, that's it. Yeah. Absolutely, you can make your own ones, man.
We've heard Cloud. Have we heard Shimmer yet? Oh my God, look at that! It's a 20,000 millisecond girthy chords.
Girthy.
It's like
got a lower harmony. It's got a lower harmony, doesn't it?
Oh God.
I mean, where are you going to use all this stuff? That's another, it's great. I'm sure it can do super easy just a spring reverb as well, but...
Oh, but this is the ultimate, right? This is not for the person that's just like, can I have a good spring reverb, please?
No.
It's like, this is the ultimate reverb machine, isn't it?
What's MX stand for?
That's a good question, actually. I wonder what they did to say, because it's like not just Big Sky 2, is it? It's Big Sky MX. Who knows?
Good question.
Right, let's find some other unusual ones.
Mega something. Maximum.
Okay, so this is another 1:2 serial. Sakamojo, which is right. Let me just see. This is Shimmer into Spring in series. Octave below.
No, it's not. That's not an octave. That's a harmony, but low harmony.
If I edit here again, shift 1 is
that's a perfect fifth.
A minor sixth.
Yeah, and a perfect fifth.
I'm not sure.
So it should be
shift. Oh wow, okay, so,
yeah, so it's playing
holy
fifth.
Holy moly, so shift 1 is doing a minor sixth and a perfect fifth and a whatever.
Tritone.
Oh no, I see, sorry, so that's... right, sorry, these are all my options, sorry.
Yeah,
minor sixth, perfect fifth, tritone, these are my options. So yeah, you're right, set for a perfect fifth, and then shift 2 is... set for a fifth above. So it's a perfect fifth below and a perfect fifth above.
Oh, right, so it's, whoa, cool.
Whatever that means.
But that's
oh my God!
So if I play fifth...
So the octave you're hearing, is that the difference between the fifth above and the fifth below?
So, yeah, so you got that, and you got that 3, but if I play 3, then I'm now gonna get a fifth down and a fifth up, but the same fifth here, and the same down, and the same up, and one at top and one down. Wow!
Oh man, I mean, again, I would imagine there's going to be tons of videos on this for you to go into. You need to just go and, what you need to do is either just buy one and find them all yourself, or go to your local Strymon dealer and try one. But this is
Can I have 2 hours to just plug into this thing? Attack.
This is another impulse response. It's quite hard to describe the sensation of hearing an impulse response versus a digital reverb.
Yeah.
I think the impulse responses feel cleaner, if that's the right word. You don't hear so much of that.
Is it a digital thing that's lacking?
No, I don't
Is
think
it
it's
more
lag.
analog, or does that make no sense at all?
It's quite. Let's just go between 2 and see if we can kind of really. I almost want like a whole like. Let's
there you
right.
go.
So here's a chamber digital reverb versus a mausoleum. Not a good comparison, that one, but do you see, I think sometimes the digital ones have a sort of a crispiness to them that might be what you want.
Yeah.
And the real ones, or the IRs have a sort of a...
It is like being in a church and you talk, but you want to be really quiet. You know, a big church like a cathedral or something, and you're trying to be quiet, but the reverb is all around you. You know what I mean? It's not just here. It's like over there and behind you and everything. That's kind of the sound.
Did we do choral?
Choral?
What was choral?
We were making straight A's. School of Rock.
I don't know. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, I sort of feel like maybe again we'll have a little look what's in the global settings just to give you a bit of a feel for what's in here. So global is cab filters, input levels, MIDI channels. Yeah, I don't really know what's a cab filter when it's at home. Off, bright, dark, classic. So I suppose they're tonal things that you can elect to add to your reverb. Lots and lots of MIDI stuff, modes for foot switches. What can we do here? Preset dual. I'd have to read the manual to find out what that is. Oh yeah, your home screen thing. So if you wanted something for the stage where it was...
Yeah, bigger view, right?
Yeah, so instead of seeing, which reverb is it, you just want the biggest view of what the actual name of the reverb is. That's how you would do
clever,
that, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'm going to put this back to default for now. Expression pedal modes, your spillover modes, you can adjust the display of the brightness display, etc., etc. So there's a few bits and bobs you can do.
But quite simple though.
Quite simple. It doesn't feel unnecessarily complicated.
The other ones was really complicated because the screen was little and you couldn't really see where you were with them.
I was kind of thinking price-wise with this as well. Although $6.99 obviously puts it right in the upper echelons. It's still cheaper than that Chase Bliss reverb with the sliders on it. And I'm not sure it's hugely... Isn't there quite an expensive New Neighbour and maybe a Meris one as well? So there are a few up in that sort of 500 to 600.
What was the other one?
The Chase Bliss one is 1,000 or something, isn't it? Or 900 or something like that. But I mean, it's definitely at the higher end. But I go back to what I said right at the beginning, which is everything's relative, isn't it? If you've spent the dough on the amps and the guitars and reverb is your thing, then...
If you spend $8 grand a guitar, why not spend 600 quid on a reverb pedal? Or sell some of your other pedals and buy one. I mean, it sounds magnificent.
It does. I mean, we haven't used it a lot with the drive. Let's see if we can find one that...
Is that...
Maybe not that one.
Now I'm playing fifths all over. That's all too much.
We've got into the really weirdy ones as we go.
It sounds great, man. That's
I think you're probably right. I think that's it. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. It's one of those. I've got the Poly Verbs on my board at the moment, which replaced the Strymon Cloudburst before, just because I found the impulse response reverb so much more immersive. I mean, I'm not sure for me, as the type of player that typically finds the one reverb he really likes on the pedal and never really changes it, I'm not sure that I feel I need to change the Polyverbs.
It's also a big pedal for your board. You have to be serious about it.
But without doubt, if I wanted to use MIDI and I wanted to have different different kinds of reverbs, I mean, Reverb's going to be... I cannot wait to see Reverb's demo.
No, it's going to be amazing. He likes this. Can you wait till the new timeline comes out? Because there must be a timeline MX without me knowing at all about it. But if they bring that out, there would be one coming, I'm sure.
Yeah, you just need to give me like 3 months to recover from having to pay 700 quid for this before I have to do the same for the timeline. But yeah, I think, look, I mean, there's a reason why Strymon is so popular. They do everything well, but especially reverbs, I think.
Delays, reverbs.
Yeah, and they've somehow made what should be a really complicated pedal not complicated. Like, it doesn't...
That is so important, man.
I feel like I could... I don't feel like I'm, going, oh, what I need to read the manual to see what... I feel like... And there might be some really obscure MIDI stuff that I might need to read the manual for, but basically getting sounds out of this, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Anything we want to try before we go, or we just absolutely...
No, I think we've kind of done it all, haven't we?
Well, you go to the... That's
I see. So you're now staying within the same patch.
But I'm just putting impulses on it. It just sounds so
sounds
good, man.
absolutely great.
I mean, we are playing
Congratulations.
stereo. Anything in stereo, loud.
Yeah, but let's just remind ourselves. You know,
It still sounds good.
it's just a good
yeah.
2-amp, dry, clean tone. But anyway, look.
Have you played your real amp today? The little meme I did.
All right, well, look.
I mean, this sounds so
There's nothing else to tell you other than
Magic.
links will be below where you can dive on over to the Andertons website, read the spec in all its glory if you want to. Right now, on day one, these are actually in stock. Whether they'll be in stock for very long, I don't know.
They won't, man.
No.
They'll go like out the door,
Yeah.
and you think 699 or whatever, 600 quid, they'll all be gone.
Yeah. Okay, right, onwards and upwards. Have a lovely day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Au revoir.